Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more fighting. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And wow, I've done some videos about Ronda Rousey, stated my opinion on her loss, her most recent loss to Amanda Nunes, 48-second knockout. And it's crazy, what's done in the dark comes to light. And a lot of what I said before I found out other pieces of it. Like, they did an ESPN interview with a UFC fighter, female, Raquel Pennington, and she was asked about Ronda Rousey. She was brought in to help prepare for the Nunes fight or whatever the situation was. And Pennington revealed to ESPN, hey, I could just say it was good work. I can't tell you anything more than that, because they had me sign, meaning Team Rousey, had me sign a non-disclosure agreement which stipulates I cannot talk about that. And I made a video about that, and I told you that was kind of weird because there's a lot of, I understand no video footage or video cameras because people can take away, your opponent can see it or whatever and take away what they want and maybe look at strategies, deficiencies, stuff like that. And I was like, man, Ronda Rousey, she has this, seems like this entitled prima donna attitude, right? And I also said she needs to work on her stand-up game, right? The boxing isn't, it's surprising after the Holly Holm, everything you suffered in the Holly Holm defeat, you didn't look like in that time off, you had a good lengthy time off, repair and rest your body. It didn't look like you had even improved your stand-up game at all, like, or had a defense or different shades of what you could do, or head movement, or a jab, a strong clinch. Like, it just looked like a continuation of Holly Holm fight, right? And we knew Nunes was a striker, so I'm like starting to think, like, why did she even take the fight if you didn't? I'm not saying she didn't work on it, but it just didn't seem like she did enough work, because obviously the result was see, this is the thing with Ronda Rousey's stand-up game. It's not like she's just losing. She just got caught with the haymaker and it was a lucky punch or something and she got rocked. She's getting dominated. In her 2 UFC losses, she got dominated by the same thing, right? And I thought the Pennington thing, like, revealed something. Even I said this stuff before. But now, shout out to bloodyelbow.com, link in the description. There's another female UFC fighter who just fought yesterday on the UFC on Fox 23 card. That's Juliana Pena. And she lost via armbar to Svinchenko. And Svinchenko is looking like a beast. But what Juliana Pena or Pena, what she was saying in the Bloody Elbow interview was just almost like a continuation of what Pennington said about the non-disclosure, similar type behavior. And what Juliana said was shocking to me. She says, Ronda Rousey, she's not allowed to get hit in sparring. That's a quote. She's not allowed to get hit in sparring. She said this to the UFC Unfiltered podcast, right? On MMA Mania. But I seen the article on Bloody Elbow. And she says, Ronda Rousey, she's not allowed to get hit in sparring. She goes on to say, these girls have to sign these waivers to say that we never hit Ronda and we'll never talk about this type of training ever and all this stuff. You know, she's not really taking the toll in the fight camp of getting punched in the face legitimately, so she doesn't really know what it feels like. She goes on to say, she's a superstar and they don't want to see her get any damage. So it's like whenever the girls would go hard on her, whenever they'd come forward and start banging it out on her, they tell them, hey, knock it off, stop it, don't hit her so hard, and then sign this waiver and say that you were never here and that you never punched her. Don't ever talk about how well you did in training and stuff like that, because you have to sign this dotted line or else we'll sue you for $1 million, right? Again, the link is in the description. And although this is shocking, it is not shocking based on actually seeing the outcome. This behavior looks to be the truth. And the reason I say that, not just because you have more than one girl's testimony. I don't know if Juliana Pena specifically, because people talk, so I don't know if she was brought into a Rousey camp or if it's just her circle. I mean, one thing I know about just from covering the fighting sports, boxing, MMA, they're relatively small niches. Like, I know people that have messed around and stuff in the industry and just different stuff like that. So people talk. So I don't know if she's saying this from a first-hand perspective, like she was a sparring partner. She might not have been because of this non-disclosure, and she might get threatened with a lawsuit. So it might be hearsay, but it still sounds to be the truth. And because that's exactly how it looks like it went. It looked like she was ill-equipped and ill-prepared to take a punch. And the first time she got hit with the jab from Nunes, what happened? She seemed to like freeze up and she appeared shell-shocked. And I'm not saying you can learn boxing in a day or just fighting in general, but you got to start somewhere. And if you have certain deficiencies, when it comes to judo, that's Ronda Rousey's bag. That's what she's really good at. That's what she went to the Olympics for. But it's clear to me that she needs help with her stand-up game. So to not have tough sparring, then you're going into battle with the pen. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. Everyone else has guns, rifles, muskets, and knives and grenades, and you have a pen or a pencil. You know what I mean? Because from all the fighters I know and have talked to, the sparring in their training camps, doing it right in camp, is really what prepares you for the moment. And then you, under the bright lights, that's when you shine. In the cage or in the ring, it doesn't matter. And it's all based on your preparation, eating good, cutting the weight the right way, getting good sparring, getting good, having good coaches if it's MMA to work on your ground game, your jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. And it's just shocking to me that I would hear this type of stuff. Again, Ronda Rousey is an expert at judo, so she doesn't really have to work on that. That's already ingrained into her DNA. She already knows how to hip toss and get you on the ground, armbar submission. So the fact that her camp, Edmund and her, chose to do all this, sign non-disclosures, when girls mount their attack, you say, hey, knock it off. Don't go hard on her. No face shots. Like this is like a porn industry or something. No headshots, no face shot. That's shocking to me that they would, the behavior of it, because how are you expecting to take a punch with those little ass UFC gloves if you can't even take a punch in sparring, or you don't know how to react in those moments? You know what I mean? And then this is the other thing. There's 2 points I want to make. One, it doesn't prepare you for Amanda Nunes. So why would you take on a tall order, a Brazilian striker who's a lesbian? And I mean, not that matters, but she looks like a no-nonsense type of girl, right? Nunes doesn't look like she comes to fuck around. She's like a badass. She doesn't look like she's playing. So if you're not even going to prepare your fighter, you're just setting your fighter up for failure. You know she struggles with lack of boxing ability, lack of head movement, no good clinch, no stand-up game. And why would you even take the Amanda Nunes fight off of a long layoff and a knockout loss? That's just bad management at that point. And then you won't even let her go in the trenches when it comes to sparring. No, don't hit her in the face. What are you doing? So I don't even see why they would even try to tackle the Amanda Nunes, who was a champion with Ronda's old belt. That shows that superstar, like, negligent confidence. And it just doesn't make sense. And I really feel like that. The training is where it all counts. And the other thing is this. If the fighters are already being threatened with a lawsuit and non-disclosures in a lawsuit if they don't, or if they blabbermouth anything, then who cares if she's getting hit in sparring? They can't reveal it. You know what I mean? So I think the non-disclosure is enough. So even if she's getting bruised and battered and knocked around in sparring, they already signed the non-disclosure. So why are you saying, hey, take it easy on her, $1 million if you hit her in the face and stuff like that, when they're already like pretty much have a gag order to not tell what's going on? Stuff like that really doesn't make any sense to me. And I did an interview with pro boxer Troy King, and we talked about this and dissected it. And he says she needs to live in the boxing gym, which I definitely agree with. And I feel like this is, the more that comes out with this story, the more I understand why she tasted her second defeat. Because if you're not willing to go to war in sparring, then I question how ready you can be when it gets. What are you gonna do in a real fight? What if you can't get Amanda Nunes down to the ground? What do you do? And then we seen what she did. She kind of froze up and then got rocked and hit with consecutive punches. But again, the moments that would have prepared her for this is, instead of calling the girls that were off in sparring, you let her go through that. Give her a dogfight, right? You listen to Floyd Mayweather, this generation's best boxer. He always talks about the dogfights at the doghouse, you know what I mean? And credits it to his training camp and his team in sparring and being pushed there. So when it comes to the actual fight, the hard part is already done in the gym. And that's how it could have been with Ronda Rousey. So just so many ways to slice it. Again, why would you fight Amanda Nunes if you're trying to baby her in sparring? That doesn't even make sense. Like, you're not gearing her up for that. It's like when I was growing up, when I was a kid, my parents get me ready for the first day of school. They make sure I have lunch money or a lunch ticket, socks, shoes, a coat if it's cold outside. That's like sending your kid out with it's raining bad and they don't have no umbrella, no jacket, no socks, and you just send them out. They don't have no backpack, no pencils, no erasers, no coloring books or crayons. You know what I'm saying? You're asking for trouble. So I can't believe, after hearing this, link in the description, all these stories about non-disclosures, and if you punch her in the face, you get sued for $1 million. That just shows that, I don't know, that doesn't really show the fighter spirit. Like, if you fight, you're going to get hit. I don't care if you're Floyd Mayweather, if you're Muhammad Ali, you'll get hit at some point. And not giving your fighter a fighting chance by preparing them for those moments and actually stripping them away. Girls are on her line and like dogging her in sparring or whatever, and then she doesn't know how to fight back. It shows. That's why I believe this story, because it showed in the fight. She did nothing. You'll do fucking none. Let me know what you guys think. Ronda Rousey and team threatened to sue sparring partners $1 million for face shots. Pause. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.